First and foremost, we have to ask the important questions here. Which special edition bonus was better? The plush quills of the original Wii release for a pre-order, or the keychain of Baby Sonic from the movie? What? Watching the public opinion on Sonic Colors over the last decade or so has been very interesting, to say the least. Now, don't worry, we're not going to go on any sort of history lesson here about Sonic 06 and Sonic's transition to 3D. None of that stuff. I know everyone's tired of it by now. You're good. But I do think it is important to highlight just why Sonic Colors became such an acclaimed game in the first place. Especially since I've seen conversation recently about how the game is overrated and flat out not good because it started this negative trend of lackluster stories and poor characterization in subsequent Sonic games. Will this video end up being a biased opinion from a Sonic fanboy? You know what? Yeah, it will actually. Sonic Colors was, and still is, one of my favorite modern Sonic games, and I don't care who knows it. Conversation is one thing, but thanks to this game getting an ultimate re-release on PC and consoles, a whole new slew of gamers will get to try this game out for the very first time and come to their own conclusions. I say as you're about to watch a Sonic fan ramble on for 10 plus minutes. Gotta start things out with a thank you. Thank you to Sega for giving me a review code for the PC as well as the Switch versions, so I get to try out both sides of the spectrum there. And also, for this video, we're going to be taking a look at the original release on Wii, as well as how that game runs in Dolphin. I appreciate the review code, really I do, but I like this game a whole lot, so we're gonna put it through its paces. One of the things that attracted me to Sonic Colors right off the bat was that it was actually a bit of a reactionary piece by Sega and Sonic Team after the years of criticism they had going their way after the previous adventures that all kinda flopped. Regardless of your opinion on games like Sonic Unleashed and 06 nowadays, in the late 2000s, the over-the-top gimmicks, the monster of the week final boss formula, consistently adding new friends to the Blue Guy's arsenal, all the while constantly being told, oh yeah, don't worry guys, this is gonna be the game that'll save the franchise. Well, people were sick of it. You know what? Actually, Colors releasing right alongside Sonic 4 Episode 1 probably didn't help matters now that I'm thinking about it. All of that love Sonic Unleashed is getting now? Oh boy, where were you all 10 plus years ago? That was not where the conversation was. All of that made the announcement and the release of Sonic Colors all the more of a big deal. You press start on the title screen and then boom, you're in. None of that pesky story stuff getting in the way. Just go fast. Are you wondering what sort of crazy monster Eggman's gonna summon this time around? Well, keep wondering. The Doctor is the only threat here. Okay, not the same case for the DS version, but shh, you get my point. Oh, and what about that cast of characters, man? Well, we got Sonic and Tails. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I know, again, it's not the same for the DS version. Stop interrupting me, I have a point to make here. The more time has passed, the more these things can appear to be limited in scope. But if anything, I and many others saw this as more of a concentrated restraint to hold back on the things that people kept taking issues with. Especially since this was a Wii exclusive. That console is as powerful as 2 GameCubes duct taped together. It is a miracle we got anything even close to Unleashed daytime stages here. But yes, I know, I will acknowledge this is a 10-year-old opinion, a lot of things have changed since back then, but I just think it's important to think about the context of when this game was a big deal in the first place. That changes a lot. You gotta think about it like this. Sonic's never been quite the same since the colors felt so bright. It's definitely worth wondering if that limited scope still holds up nowadays when many of us have played Generations, often considered the best Sonic has ever played, to death, and probably have modded it to death as well to play some Colors content with that modern engine. Yeah, I want to go back to the source material, see what that's all about. And as for Sega continuing to do not so great things with the Hedgehog and the games that followed Colors, well, I mean, come on, that's on Sega. None of that is Sonic Colors' fault.
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!
Alright, almost none of that is Sonic Colors' fault. If anything, the most humorous discourse with this game over the years was the international debate on whether or not Colors should have the letter U in it. But hey, now with Ultimate, there's a U in the title worldwide, so everybody wins. Now, simply put, does the gameplay still hold up? I mean, yeah, of course it does. I mean, I think that part was pretty obvious. The combination of the boosting mechanic with rewarding your quick reflexes with some shiny trinkets, I think it makes for a very satisfying time. Sure, it is mostly 2D and people get upset when you call it a 3D Sonic game, whatever, that's just semantics. Honestly, quality is quality, that's all I'm interested in. It definitely also helps that the soundtrack, Oh god, the soundtrack is so good, dude. This is one of the best soundtracks of all time. Aquarium Park, Planet Wisp, Tropical Resort, it's all so good. Oh man, the Sonic Colors portion of the Anniversary Orchestra, not gonna lie, the orchestrated Aquarium Park got me a little emotional. I can admit it. And while gimmicks in Sonic games historically lead to playstyles that are radically different than the stuff that most people sign up for, we have the Wisps in this one, and honestly, this is one of the best gimmicks Sonic teams ever come up with. Sonic is in space this time around, exploring an interstellar amusement park, and if we're also trying to bring Sonic back to his simplistic roots, well, he's not saving little woodland critters this time around, but instead, little floaty aliens, each of which give you a temporary power-up that gives you access to specific shortcuts and encourages exploration to gather all of the collectibles. Having extra playable characters isn't inherently a bad thing, but it is really nice having a gimmick that finally just adds to Sonic's core moveset, and also makes sense in the context of the world. You're in space, you're getting help from aliens, I am behind that 100%. Now, why Wisps got shoehorned into following games that weren't in space, like Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Lost World, were beyond me, but hey! I mean, it wouldn't be a Sonic video if the YouTuber wouldn't go ahead and bash another Sonic game that's irrelevant to the topic, but you know, I'm just rolling with the punches here. Shooting through the skies as a laser, flowing through a trail of mid-air rings, spin dashing across walls and ceilings, it is all great fun. Now, yeah, some of those things were part of Sonic's core moveset before Colors, but hey, again, semantics. I don't care. A lot of people like to complain about that stuff. I don't care. Let me like the things that I like, okay? And it's when you decide to go for 100%, when you want to go back through levels after having all of the Wisps unlocked and you attempt to find all the red rings, that is where the level design truly starts to show its stuff. There is actually a fair bit of exploration here if you are so inclined, and in my opinion, it's fun to do so. And also, this is the perfect time to start talking about what makes the ultimate version of this game stand out from the original. There is a brand new Wisp here, the Jade Wisp. Originally showing up in Team Sonic Racing, yeah, remember that game? Sega doesn't. These little guys turn you into a ghost that can warp around to special glowing spots right around you to access hard to reach areas, oftentimes places that were inaccessible in the original. There's not really much to these since most of the level designs were all built before this Wisp even existed, but it's still a neat little addition that really helps with the whole encouraging exploration thing. Also, its music is pretty cool. Yeah, I like this. It's also, like, the only notable addition, too. Sonic Colors Ultimate took the original version of the game and really just added a lot of small stuff here or there. You've probably seen these golden coins throughout the levels now. These are park tokens. These are an unlimited collectible. They respawn when you return to levels and whatnot, and these are used for the new customization options. And that part is pretty weak, honestly. You got gloves and shoes that have some new colors and patterns. You can change your aura and boost trail. I mean, it's kinda neat, but when it's just slight color swaps and not even something like changing Sonic's body color or even having some costumes, it just doesn't really feel worthwhile. They should have embraced the Colors name here and given me the entire spectrum to work with at this point. If the toy Sonics in the Sonic Simulator can be whatever color they want, why can't I have a red Sonic here? I mean, come on. I am loving the modern trend of costumes and aesthetic changes as unlockables in platformers nowadays. I just wish this went further. I mean, Monkey Ball Banana Mania is doing it. Why is Sonic the one getting the short end of the stick here? I would have figured he would have gotten a better treatment. Well, at least you can also buy new Sonic and Sega themed avatars for the online leaderboards. Oh my god, Sega remembered Clockwork Knight? Dude, I don't even remember Clockwork Knight, that's crazy! But the most obvious change of them all is the redone lighting engine, and yeah, I'm gonna echo a lot of other opinions on this one. I am not really a fan of how this all looks. The darks have been made a whole lot darker, the lights have been made obnoxiously brighter in some instances, and I don't know, man, Sonic's model just looks kinda weird. He has a very weird shine to him, I don't like it. And it doesn't help that the cutscenes were simply upscaled, not redone, so they're a constant reminder of how Sonic used to look in contrast to his in-game lighting. It's really, really weird. Some of the textures have also been improved, but you really only notice that when doing a direct comparison, in my opinion. Ultimate doesn't look terrible, but well, this is where Dolphin comes in. The upgrade showcase trailer for the game made a point to go, oh boy, look at how much better this looks compared to how garbage it used to look on the Wii. I have no idea where they're getting their footage from, man, but the Wii version didn't look that bad. It looked like this. Given the limitations of the system, we do have a low resolution we're working with here, but even then, colors always looked really good. Still does, honestly. But the reality of the situation here is the emulator, Dolphin, is a better expectation of how many of us wanted and or expected this remaster to look. Yes, obviously it's not real hardware, so we're technically cheating, but come on now. Since Colors is only now getting a re-release, Dolphin running at a higher resolution with a simple 60 FPS patch and even an HD texture pack if you're so inclined, is the best thing the fans have had for a long time to get the game looking on par with Unleashed and Generations. Ultimate didn't need to change the lighting in order to make it look modern. It already looked fine with a simple upscale, you just gotta touch up the textures and we would have been fine. Dolphin proved that. I also get it, this entire argument is subjective, but I haven't really seen that many people say this version looks better, so in my eyes, that kinda seems like a net loss, even though it technically doesn't really matter. But sadly, that is just the beginning of the issues. Now, granted, a lot of these could be just in the launch version and things could be made better over time with patches, but quite frankly, it is fairly annoying that a 10-plus-year-old game getting remastered is launching with these issues in the first place when they weren't there the first time around. The game is still functional and completable, so that much is good, but how some of these things slip through the cracks is really beyond me. The sound mixing is awful, some sounds being way louder than others, and you lack the ability to just lower the sound effects. In the options menu, you have to lower the music alongside it. Speaking of, sometimes the music just straight up doesn't play for some wisps or even some end-level jingles. It's very weird. Every zone now has 3 new remixes to complement the existing 3 arrangements already in every zone in the original version, so each of these 6 acts now has unique music, which is neat, but if you don't like them, like how I don't like them, and you want to work with the originals all the time, too bad. No option to pick and choose. Well, except for the Planet Wisp remixes, which for some reason are the only ones locked behind a paywall. Dude, seriously? Plenty of graphical glitches too, like here, where the Wisp capsule just decides to not explode. Or here, like the Wisps that you save take forever to leave the planet you found them on, as opposed to before, where they go on pretty quickly. Or here, where Sonic no longer jumps out of the level portals like he used to. There's a new mode with Metal Sonic Rival Rush, which is just a glorified time trial for only 6 levels, where in the first one, the tracker didn't even work. And even though Metal Sonic being here is pretty cool, there is zero context for him since there's no new story beats. He's just here now, cool. Hell, you should have made him playable at that point, like in the Sonic Adventure port. Would have just been a reskin of Sonic like it was in Sonic Adventure, but hey, still would have been cool. The models and Sonic Simulator's menus are incredibly broken. The infamously long credit sequence, and I swear, I am not making this part up, are now twice as long and go on for 30 minutes, and they didn't add any extra music, so half of the credits just play in silence. Sega, what are you doing? It's not even like I don't think Colors could have used some changes, you know? The 6-act structure just kinda haphazardly throws long acts and short acts back to back with no rhyme or reason. That could have been adjusted. The Supersonic Final Unlockable has always been fairly lame since you can't use wisps and its theme plays over the game's great soundtrack, something I never was a fan of, so that could have been tweaked as well. Don't get me wrong, Colors could have used some quality of life tweaks, and we got none of that, and the things that we did get are just objectively worse. Oh, but hey, at least there's now a perfect timing homing attack mechanic. That fixes everything, I guess. I know I'm kind of grasping at straws here, but if you're calling this the ultimate version of Sonic Colors, you also could have just thrown in the DS game for easy points. Like, why not? If we're calling it ultimate, may as well show that one. Why does Sega continue to act like Sonic's portable history never happened? Listen, I harbor no ill will to Blind Squirrel Games, the company responsible for this remaster. I can't believe that Sega would trust a relatively no-name company with a beloved Sonic game and not ensure the quality of the game is maintained. Why do we keep ending up in this position? Colors was a rare case where the community was more or less all behind it, so to see the re-release just getting bashed left, right, and center on social media, I gotta tell ya, as a longtime fan of this game since day one, it's pretty depressing. We could have prevented this. But yes, of course, then there's also the Switch version of the game, and yeah, let's talk about it. Oh man, I cannot believe Nintendo fans are the ones getting the short end of the stick of a remaster of a previous Nintendo exclusive, but hey, okay, here we are. Now, for the most part, there are 2 talking points. The game runs at half the frame rate of the other versions, the same 30 FPS as the original Wii game, and the load times are disgustingly longer than that original version. How is that possible? I get it, you know, the Switch is a relatively weak console, but come on now, the fact that the original loaded really quickly, the PC and other console versions of this game run really quickly, how is this one the one that's almost on the level of Sonic 06? That does not make any sense to me. Aside from that though, that's really it. They're actually really similar, but boy, you take one look on social media and you can see that the lighting in this version was incredibly bugged. and that's really putting it lightly. I don't even really feel comfortable showing any of the clips I've seen on Twitter because a lot of them require an epilepsy warning, basically, which... What scenario are we living in here that this got through the system? Now, thankfully, that is just with the launch version of the game. Those issues seem to have been patched out over time, but still, I cannot believe those things made it into the source game in the first place. Assuming that going forward there won't be any more lighting issues, I think I can honestly say that I think the social media outrage for this version was a bit overblown. There, I said it. Shocking, I know. On social media? Crazy. It's definitely not ideal. I do hate it when companies fail to properly utilize the Switch hardware and the narrative becomes, well, it's because the console is too weak. That's not true, just be better about it. And besides, like most other Sonic games at this point, PC is arguably the way to go anyway due to the inevitable mod support, but if you're a big Switch gamer like I am, especially if, once again, those lighting issues are totally gone, I actually think this is a fine enough version as well. I am still a big fan of the handheld functionality of the Switch, so getting to play the console Sonic Colors portably, that is really cool. If only we were able to play the Wii version easily on the Wii U gamepad this entire time, we wouldn't even be in this mess. What this all boils down to is, yes, of course, Sonic Colors is still a great game. I know a lot of people take issue with it being called a 3D Sonic game, but then fine, whatever. This is one of my favorite modern Sonic games, and now that Ultimate is here, new people get to play it. If you don't have access to the Wii original, then I guess Sonic Colors Ultimate is a fine enough way to experience the game. It is a totally biased opinion, and I fully accept that, but nothing Sega and a shoddy port can provide can alter my viewpoint on this. I do and will always love Sonic Colors, and in my personal experience, none of the mountains of issues that Ultimate has is eliminating that love, especially if more of them are getting patched out over time. Whether you're playing the original or this re-release, the game is still really good. Sonic Colors represents a time where the company seemed to genuinely want to get their act together, and as of 2021, it's actually still the latest example of a main Sonic game giving us a whole new slew of worlds and environments to explore that are really original. Generations was all returning locations, Lost World was relatively generic, Forces locations came off as mostly uninspired. Yeah man, the Interstellar amusement park of Sonic Colors still deserves a lot of credit. This game will be awesome no matter what. This actually feels very familiar. We have a beloved Sonic game that was treated to a shoddy port in an attempt to celebrate the anniversary. That sounds very familiar. Oh god, why are we here again? History repeats itself in the worst of ways.